So today we've got a new person here that's actually my first collaborator,
Hey man,
Butterducks.
yeah. I also make YouTube videos. I upload once a week, and this guy reached out to me and he's like, "Oh, I like your videos. We should make a video together." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So now we're making a Spider-Man tier list.
Yeah, so if you want to keep up with his stuff as well, go check out his channel.
Yeah.
Alright, so Spider-Man. We
Okay,
got
I have a question to ask you.
Okay.
Be- what are your opinions on Tobey Maguire?
I think Toby's good.
For me, he's my least favorite Peter Parker. Sorry, no, he's my least favorite Spider-Man, but the best Peter Parker.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's not exactly that charming of a Spider-Man, but he's great as a Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's such a douche, and I want to punch his face, and that's good for Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I think that first movie is like so iconic, and I watched the original trilogy a couple months ago, and that first film is so fast paced, and I love it. And I think Green Goblin is probably the best part of that movie.
I'm willing to agree with you on Green Goblin being the best, but also it's kind of hard for me to watch the very first Spider-Man now because I can see all the kind of dated effects,
They're so dated, man.
like the balloon parade.
Yeah, there's a clip of him swinging, and then like the wind is going the wrong way, and then you can also tell Spider-Man the mannequin. It's just so badly made.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's like I love the movie as a whole. Like when it's not CGI'd, it's really good.
Yeah, anything to do with Peter Parker, I actually find more engaging than Spider-Man.
Yeah, and also he just is not really good at the whole one-liners thing.
It's you who's out.
Oh my fucking yeah. For me, MJ, she's like probably the worst character in the whole trilogy. I think she's okay in this first one, but she's super like toxic in the next two. But in this one, she's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like in the second one, she's kind of a hoe for the most part.
And then we're getting ahead of ourselves, but in the third one, she leaves a fucking marriage.
I thought that was the second one. She left.
Oh, was that the second one? Yeah. that was bad.
Yeah, but
In this one, she's alright. She's kind of a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's like perfect love interest. Not really
Yeah.
anything to complain about.
Yeah. So, in terms of stuff to complain about, it's literally just the CGI and
Yeah.
what else? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just a solid movie. Like, I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, and I mean, it actually got me to like Nickelback a little bit with that
Oh, really?
song "Hero."
That's funny.
I don't know.
I would be willing. I think it's like an A tier, not because it doesn't deserve an S tier, but there's just going to be movies coming up that are just better than it.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it an A.
And I think it's really good, but it's not as good as the second movie
Yeah,
for me.
the second one is really good.
The first one is like, it's really fun, it's comedic, but it doesn't really hit emotionally. Whereas that second one, in my opinion, like, there's a lot more emotion to it.
Yeah, which speaking of the second one, Spider-Man 2.
I love that one.
In my opinion, if Spider-Verse didn't exist, it would probably easily be my favorite Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I would probably agree, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think Doc Ock is good. He's not as fun as Green Goblin, but I really like his backstory, and I love how he, like, it's not really him that's evil, it's the fucking claw things.
Yeah, I think Doc Ock is probably easily the best part of the movie.
Yeah, he is really cool. For me, I like when he loses his powers for a bit. Wait, was that the second movie? Yeah.
Yeah, second.
Yeah. That was engaging because now he has to like overcome, like he kind of have to learn like, shit, Spider-Man's a hero and now I can't be Spider-Man, but then he realizes like, oh, Peter Parker's kind of the hero as well.
Yeah.
I like that type of arc.
I mean, I kind of like how he has to relearn what being Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
And a nice arc.
And the whole fucking pizza thing was funny.
Pizza time.
I think
I guess Spider-Man isn't as quippy as he was in the first movie, so you don't really have to suffer through his horrible puns.
yeah, he's a bit better written in this one.
Yeah.
But the beginning of all three Spider movies, he has a horrible line every time.
Keep your change.
Yeah, and yeah, going back to MJ, this is the one where it became really fucking toxic.
She literally left a wedding with
Big party for
her,
an American hero.
my son, the
the
astronaut, flirt with Peter 24/7 and then be with him.
Yep, fucking out.
I don't know. MJ is just probably really the only downside to this movie because she's just such a hoe in it.
Yeah, yeah, like, but it does add tension to Peter's like general life. Like being Spider-Man is kind of like escaping like his normal life because fucking MJ sucks so much in it.
I personally would give it S. What about you?
I would agree with that. I think S, but it's not like a high S though. For me, it's like a low S.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that.
Mm.
Okay, Spider-Man 3.
It's gonna be an interesting one because a lot of people love this one and a lot of people hate it.
I'm one of those people who actually really likes this one.
Honestly, I kind of agree. It's okay. It's not as good as the first two.
No, but it's like really goofy, fun.
It's the funniest and honestly probably the most engaging as well.
Yeah, and I mean like the MJ stuff with MJ and Peter is honestly really good in this one. Because it kind of points out the fact that their relationship is pretty damn toxic.
They finally admit it.
Yeah.
And the special effects in this one is actually like pretty good.
Yeah, I mean like Sandman is incredibly well CGI'd.
Yeah, I saw this video where it's like bad movies with great CGI, and half of it was just Spider-Man 3.
It's not that bad. I don't know.
But, I like the idea of like I honestly like all three villains. Like, there's definitely way too many. Like they should have just done one, maybe two. Three is way too many. But I do like the backstory of all of them. Well, Venom is kind of like didn't have much of a backstory, but Sandman, I really like Sandman. If he was the main protagonist and the only one, I think this movie could have been really good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. Have amnesia kind of just felt like a cop-out way of getting rid of an extra villain.
That's definitely the worst part of the movie.
That
fucking sucked.
You don't like drugged up Harry?
No, no. Like, bro, like everything in the last two movies was just erased for like over an hour of the movie. I was like, what the fuck, man? Nah, I didn't enjoy that. That was definitely the worst part for me.
So you're admitting the dance club scene was better than that?
Oh, I forgot that was in this fucking movie. I mean, entertainment-wise, that's a great scene though.
Yeah.
That whole arc with him and Gwen was hilarious as well. And then him showing like he's dancing with Gwen just to show off to MJ. Like that is so fucking toxic.
Yeah. It's toxic as hell. But I don't know, like emo Peter just is such a vibe. I guess.
The Bully Maguire memes were so funny.
Yes. Then you have like the whole birth of Sandman scene that's honestly just really well done.
It is, yeah. Like that whole image of him trying to grab the photo of his daughter and he couldn't. That was heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, I'm like, damn it, am I gonna cry at a Spider-Man movie? And then boom, you get hit with.
That's not even that good.
Maguire.
Yeah, I love Sandman because in the Lego games he's so fucking cool as well. I just wish he got his own movie.
Yeah, I kind of hope he does, especially with the same actor they got for 3.
I love that actor. He came back for No Way Home, or whatever it was.
Yeah, he came back for No Way Home.
And he was good in that.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Now,
where are you thinking about placing it on the tier list?
It might piss people off, but I'd probably chuck it in B.
B, interesting. I was thinking C. Okay, in terms of like if I were to put on a Spider-Man movie right now, I would not be pissed off if Spider-Man 3 was on because I know I'm gonna have such a good time with it. So
Yeah.
I am willing to compromise to a B because like I'm having so much fun with this movie.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I'm like, I'm not actively hating on it, and it's actually entertaining to watch.
Yeah, if we're doing this objectively, it might even be like a D tier. But of pure entertainment wise, I agree. B is a good place.
Yeah. All right. The Andrew Garfield movies with Amazing Spider-Man.
I fucking love the first movie.
Same here.
It's so good. As a kid, I keep seeing these memes about Gwen and Andrew being the best duo, and I agree. I fucking love that duo.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're not toxic like Toby and MJ
Yeah, exactly.
were.
Just, okay, imagine if the original trilogy had Gwen and Andrew Garfield rather than the other fucking toxic. That would have been so good.
It would have. I don't know, and the lizard was actually pretty cool in this.
I agree, but like the special effects once again weren't as good, especially for its time.
Yeah.
But I do like the backstory. I like the idea of like he's just trying to be a good person and it kind of just goes wrong. Similar to Doc Ock actually.
Yeah. The one thing that does kind of throw me off is the fact that he's supposed to be a high schooler, but he kind of makes a better adult Peter.
There's no way this man's a fucking high schooler, man. They fucked that up.
Yeah, I feel like he would have, if it was just adult Peter, it would have honestly been way more convincing and believable.
Yeah. This is definitely the worst Peter Parker, because this guy is not getting picked on. He's a fucking skater kid that's picking up literally the hottest girl in school. Like, I don't know, like, that doesn't sit right with me. Like, what's his name? Tom Maguire. Not Tom, what the fuck's his name? Toby Maguire. He gets picked on really easily, and I think Peter Parker should be, whereas Andrew Garfield is kind of like a cool kid.
Yeah, like, he does not give off nerdy vibes at all.
Yeah. And as a kid, I thought that was cool because Andrew Garfield's sick. But looking back at it, like, I wouldn't say he was cast wrong, he was just written wrong.
Yeah, also, like,
What are your thoughts on Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield?
I think he's a much better Spider-Man because he's funny for one, and he doesn't.
Yeah, no, his lines are actually good.
Yeah, he's not making a bad pun,
Every fucking time, yeah.
and he's actually a
And-
really likable Spider-Man.
I agree, he's so good at Spider-Man, but I do have an issue is that his motivation isn't great power comes great responsibility, it's about revenge, and that, I can see why people have an issue with that.
Yeah, but I kind of like how it goes from revenge to actually then following into the great power thing.
It kind of does, yeah. Like, it takes him a long time to figure out, like, oh shit, like, I should be a superhero and not just kill the guy that killed Ben, Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I kind of like
Yeah,
that.
it's a decent little arc in the middle of the movie.
Yeah. I won't forgive the fact, though, that the way the lizard finds out it's Peter Parker is
Oh
by
my
his
fucking god, the whole camera thing?
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
Who the fuck slaps their name
A
just on the
professional
camera?
writer wrote that into the script. That's crazy.
I don't know. Oh, like, what would you place it in?
I don't know. It's I would rather watch this than Spider-Man 3, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think I still might keep it in the B tier.
Yeah, like, it's definitely a high B, at least.
Yeah, like any scene with Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker, like that's probably my favorite part of the whole. Probably, yeah, it's just my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Their chemistry on screen and their dynamic is really well done.
Yeah, it's very well done.
And even the ending where Dad, like is sorry for everything, like that was good. When he almost died. No, when he did die against the lizard, that was a little bit emotional.
Okay, but Amazing Spider-Man 2.
This is the movie that fucked everything up.
Yeah.
There could have been a good Andrew Garfield Spider-Man series, but the second one just fucked it, and I'm so mad at it.
Yeah, I'm like, Amazing Spider-Man 3 could have been so fucking good if this was just not constantly trying to shove in the fact, oh, Sinister Six
Here I
coming
come.
in the
Oh,
next
here I
movie.
And they did it in the last second. Like that last fight with Green Goblin, I think it was like a 2-minute fight.
Yeah, it wasn't even that good.
Yeah. So there's obviously so many issues. The first one being that they keep focusing on Peter Parker's parents. Like, and I'm just like, I do not give a shit. Like, give me more Spider-Man. Don't give me more shit about his parents that no one really cares about.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's like, I think Electro, he could have been a good villain. He could have really been a good villain.
Yeah, I actually liked him in the beginning because he's just this fucking quirky dude. But then he just disappears from the movie for a good, like, half an hour. Like, I just forgot he was in the movie.
Yeah, and then he just appears with fucking Harry.
Yeah, and then Harry is so shit in this movie.
Yeah, he was not good, and I could never see him as a Green Goblin at all.
That CGI was horrible.
But then, like, the death of Gwen,
Yeah.
that just felt so unearned.
That reminds me, actually. So, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 3 could have been good, but if you hear rumors about what they were writing the script for, they were gonna use Green Lizard's powers to revive Gwen back. And I'm just like, no, thank you.
Leave her dead, please.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if Amazing Spider-Man 2 did well, I mean, they were gonna make a crossover with the Tobey movies.
They were gonna do that? I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were, I think it was like Spider-Man meets the Amazing Spider-Man, or it was some title.
Oh, no. I guess they did that later on, though.
Yeah, and we probably honestly got the best outcome of that.
We did, yeah.
But I mean,
Once again, I think Spider-Man is, like, actually funny in this movie. Like, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is probably still the best part about this movie.
oh yeah, without a doubt.
And the beginning of Electrode, I thought he was good as well. And until he, like, just disappeared and then kind of just did nothing.
Yeah, then you do like some dubstep concert for the final fight.
He did. That was, yeah. Right before Green Goblin came and then died as well.
Okay, we acknowledge the film has problems, like very
Yep.
obvious ones. But like, where do you think it sits on a tier?
It might honestly be F tier.
That bad?
This is the... If I was ever to rewatch all the Spider-Man movies, I would not be looking forward to this one at all.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty fair because it is the worst out of them.
In terms of objectively, it might be as bad as Spider-Man 3, but on top of it, it's extremely boring.
Yeah, at least Spider-Man 3 is like entertainingly bad.
Yeah. There's not much entertaining to laugh at Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Alright, so coming in, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming.
I think you should start this.
Okay, what are your opinions as Tom Holland as Spider-Man?
I fucking love Tom Holland. He's definitely my favorite Peter Parker. And hey, Tobey Maguire's the best. It's the best Peter Parker. Tom Holland's my favorite Spider-Man. And I think as an overall package, I think Tom Holland's the best.
Yeah, I think Tom Holland's like the perfect blend between Tobey's really good Peter Parker and Andrew's amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, like his lines are actually funny. He's got really good chemistry with the supporting cast. And honestly, Homecoming is probably my favorite live-action Spider-Man.
Okay. I mean, I remember seeing it in theaters and I thought, damn, that was actually really good.
Yeah, I love that one. I think it's probably the funniest one to me as well. And also that twist with the dad being the Vulture, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I really didn't see that one.
I love this movie. I know a lot of people say it's like the worst in the trilogy, and I'm like, nah, man, this is the best one. I love this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite of the trilogy, but it is by no means the worst of this.
Yeah, I really loved Tom Holland during Civil War, and then he really took it home with this movie. And I love, like, yes, a lot of people don't like how other superheroes go into these movies, but I love how Iron Man like helps them out in this movie.
Yeah, my only thing is that I don't like with the actual promotional material, like how heavy they pushed. Iron Man is in this movie. Iron Man is in this movie.
And then they also did Captain America as well. I could see why people wouldn't like that.
Yeah, because I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is in it for like maybe 10 minutes at best.
Yeah, but the screen time they do have together, I thought it worked really well because I think they have a good relationship between Peter Parker and Tony Stark.
Yeah, I think they have great chemistry together.
Yeah, and also that scene of Spider-Man like being afraid of heights is one of my favorite scenes. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah. All right. So, what are we feeling on a tier?
You're probably gonna disagree with me, but I'll put it in S tier.
I mean, I agree. It's S tier. It's very.
Hey, let's go.
It's very entertaining.
Yeah, like that's one of I was looking super whenever I do a Marvel rewatch list, I'm looking super forward to this one.
Yeah, pretty much anything before like most of Phase 4, I always look forward to whenever I do a Marvel rewatch.
That's true. That's true.
All right, Spider-Man Across or Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, I think we already know where we're gonna put it.
I mean, like, yeah, we already know it's S tier, but
I actually didn't watch this movie until like 3 years later after it came out, and I'm so disappointed. Yeah,
I didn't see this one until 2022, I want to say.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wish I saw it in theaters because it's such a beautiful movie. There's like I genuinely can't think of anything wrong with this movie. It's almost perfect.
Yeah, I mean, Miles is entertaining. Gwen's a good co-star. Same with Peter B. Parker. Like, it's really hard to poke a hole in this movie.
The Prowler is probably the best villain in this entire tier list for me.
I mean, I
fucking love the Prowler.
Yeah, Prowler's really good. Plus,
I love his theme song.
Yeah, and like all the memes that came out of Kingpin were just great.
Yeah, in terms of animation, like nothing comes close. Maybe Arcane, but it's just second to none.
Yeah, like it's really pretty to look at.
Yeah, and Miles is probably honestly the best character, like the best protagonist out of all the characters here as well.
Yeah, he's definitely probably one of my favorite like actual Spider-Man protagonists or main leads.
What did you think about the other villains? Like, what's the fuck's that big guy named?
Kingpin?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Kingpin's like actually fucking scary.
He's terrifying.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've seen the Daredevil series, and I'm like, okay, I know Kingpin's actually terrifying.
I actually haven't watched it. I should watch it.
Yeah, Daredevil's a really good series. But I mean, like, I feel like the animators kind of did him a bit dirty. This fucking proportion size.
That's what people try and hit at the gym. They want to look like him.
I get wanting to hit the shoulders a bit more than usual, but Jesus.
Yeah, he's got the worst posture I've ever seen.
Yeah. Ugh. But I mean, like, a lot of the other villains they had in here, I think, were like Scorpion, Tombstone,
and Doc Ock as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good as well.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good characters as well.
For the limited amount of screen time that a lot of characters have, like all the other like Spider-Man, like Spider-Ham, and like there's not that much screen time, but they leave an impact because they're just so memorable and how good the animation is.
Yeah. So I mean, like we're pretty dead set. It's an S tier.
Yeah.
But
you can tell we like Spider-Man since we've already got 3 movies at S.
Yeah, 3, and like the lowest one we have is an F. Right. Spider-Man. Hold on, I can barely read that text. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Ooh.
This is my least favorite of the newest trilogy.
Ooh, okay. We'll get onto that a bit later. I actually disagree.
Really?
Uh-huh. So the thing with this one is that yes, it has problems with it, but the first time I watched it, that twist of everything being fake is probably one of my favorite twists in all of MCU.
Yeah, like, I don't really have that big of a problem with the villain. Like, I think Mysterio's really good as an antagonist.
Yeah, and Jake Gyllenhaal's just so good.
Yeah. And for me, like, this movie is, I don't want to say it, but it's kind of forgettable for the most part.
Would you say you wanted a bigger movie after Endgame?
I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's not that I really wanted a bigger movie after Endgame per se. I think it's just like, for me, out of like every Spider-Man movie, I remember things more than one thing about it, and really the only thing I remember from this is Jay and Peter get together and Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio.
Yeah,
Like, that's
I
really about all I can remember.
that's fair. I see a point. Like, there's not many memorable moments. Like for me, the last 30 minutes are super memorable because I really like the final battle.
Oh yeah,
Um,
fuck, I forgot about that.
yeah, when all the drones came in and were like acting as like the Sandman, the Fireman. I thought the elements were so cool, and Peter Parker fighting them. I think that the actual like action is probably the best out of the three movies.
See, I want to agree with you, but I also really don't remember the fights that much.
Fair enough. And then of course, you know, Mysterio is super charming, and then Zendaya has a bigger role in this movie than the first one. She's good in the first one, but she's just not in it very much, and I really like how she's a bigger character in this one.
Yeah, I do remember MJ had a lot bigger of a role in this one compared to the last.
And I like the whole plot of Peter tried to like escape the class, the one that are going to Europe, and the main fucking teacher. I love that teacher.
The teacher is great.
But I agree with you. It's not that good. Like I'll probably give it like a B tier or something.
Yeah, I'm willing to compromise on like a B tier.
Yeah.
I mean, like, me personally, I probably would have thrown it in D.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You'd way rather watch Spider-Man 3?
I would much rather watch Spider-Man 3 than
Nah, that's criminal. There's no way. No. That's crazy. I mean, yeah. I think B for me is good.
Yeah, I'm willing to compromise with B.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man.
This one's interesting because initial reactions when you watch it in the cinema, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But upon rewatch, it's nowhere near as good as I remember.
Really, like, what made it drop so much?
So I think the hype going into it was great. Like, and then the whole reveal of the other Spider-Man, the whole reveal of all the other, like, if you're a Spider-Man fan, then this is a great movie because all these characters are coming back. But there was a period, I think, in the middle of the movie where he, like, for a good 40 minutes, he's fighting a villain, and then he fights another villain, and then again and again, and then it just gets a bit boring. Like during those 40 minutes, I found it very boring, and I almost turned it off. And also the comedy doesn't hit as hard in this movie than in the other two, in my opinion.
I'm willing to admit, like, the comedy was definitely not as strong as the other ones were.
This was post Endgame, so the comedy has been pretty shit since then.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, but this is kind of embarrassing. But when Aunt May died, the first time I watched it, I got a tear from it.
Don't be ashamed because I actually started tearing up. But
Yeah, that was emotional, man. And she's easily the best Aunt May as well.
yeah, you don't have from the Toby movies an old lady who's like, "Now, Peter, the best part about being Spider-Man," or something like that. Or you have Amazing Spider-Man where she's just really forgettable.
It's so fucking forgettable in that. In the original three, she's just an asshole.
Yeah.
In this one, she's a sweetheart. She did not deserve to die, man.
Yeah, I was genuinely sad when that happened.
Yeah, but I really liked. Honestly, Andrew Garfield's probably the best in this movie than in the other two.
Yeah.
That scene where he saved MJ, and then he feels emotional because he couldn't feel Gwen. That's when I felt so much remorse for him.
Yeah, like, seeing the Andrew Garfield movies, it's like really hard to watch him in No Way Home because he's just it's so sad.
You just wish you could have seen more of him.
Yeah, because it's like, God, I feel so bad for him because man did not have any other relationship out after that.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I mean,
What did you think about all the villains coming back?
the villains were cool. Some of them I could have lived without seeing, really, but
Yeah, I think my favorite one probably Green Goblin coming back.
I think my favorites were Green Goblin and Doc Ock. Sandman I was kind of disappointed by because I'm like, he was the best part of 3, why?
And then he was barely in it.
Yeah, it's like he's just kind of forgettable, and you forget he's in it until you rewatch the movie.
Yeah, that's part of my problem with it, is that Spider-Man 3 has too many villains, and I feel the same way with No Way Home. Like, yes, like, I get that they wanted to put as many villains as possible for, like, nostalgic reasons and for hype reasons, but I personally, I prefer one amazing villain than loads of other ones coming back.
Yeah, I'm just kind of happy they didn't bring the Rhino in from.
Oh my yeah, that good thing he didn't come back.
Just have fucking Rhino screaming at the top of his lungs while
Every scene, and he's fucking crashing through cars and everything, and Spider-Man's not doing anything about it. Like, people die and he's making fucking jokes.
yeah, it's like you could run a whole death counter just on how many lives that could have been saved if it wasn't fucking trying to crack jokes.
Okay, that's the only bad part about edging off with Spider-Man, is that he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Oh.
There's another scene in Spider-Man 2 where Electrode is killing everyone, and then the first time he stops is when he's wearing a fucking fireman hat, spraying water at him. And I'm like, where the fuck have you been? People are dying.
If you think about it with Incredibles logic, he's just getting sued.
Yeah. So, okay, wait, have you rewatched this movie ever since it came out?
I have.
And you enjoyed it just as much?
I enjoyed it just as much, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I still remember when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire came back, and it's just a pause because they're waiting for the audience reactions, but it's just me, so I'm just kind of sitting there like, oh, they're here. It's just silence for 5 seconds, and I just start laughing at myself.
I mean, yeah, like, this was during the COVID time, so it was literally just me, my friend, and I think, like, 2 old people with their grandkids.
Yeah, that's funny. When I watched it, it was a packed theater.
Yeah, ours were just... they were not packed at all.
Yeah. Where would you put it in the tier list?
I don't consider it S tier. I think, like, A is probably the highest I'd go with it.
I was thinking more C.
Really?
Yeah. It's my least favorite out of the Tom Holland trilogy, but if I have to rewatch it again, I'm not disappointed. I'm just not looking forward to it.
Okay. I mean, I'm willing to...
I think that means we might have another B tier.
Yeah, I'd say, like, average out to, like, a B.
I mean, that just means a lot of Spider movies are above average.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really complain with that if only one is, like, truly awful.
That one's shit.
Alright, final one. Across the Spider-Verse.
This is the only one that competes for the top spot. Me.
Yeah.
And I think we both have the same issue with this movie.
Yeah.
That might be resolved in the future.
It got
Which is
cut
that,
off.
yeah. Like, it's just so good, but it just ends, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to know what happens next. I can't really, like, it doesn't feel like a movie yet. It feels like half a movie.
Yeah, and it's, like, I saw this in theaters with one of my friends, and as soon as you got hit with the to be continued, we're like, no!
Yeah.
Come on!
There's another movie that came out that year, Mission Impossible, who's also doing a 2-parter, but that movie felt like it ended. Whereas this one, it just ends without any climax. So they messed that part up, but apart from that, it's honestly perfect.
Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't seen any Mission Impossible movies, but...
yeah, a lot of movies and a lot of shows, they just kind of stop halfway through. And I don't like this current trend that they're doing. Like, I wish they would just, like, end with a good climax and then continue it.
Yeah, have you seen, like, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon?
Oh, I actually haven't. I don't really want to.
I mean, like, they try and set it up so bad for another movie.
Yeah. I love Zack Snyder, but admittedly, a lot of his movies are so shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's a perfectly fine director, I think. It's just some of his movies I really don't like that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to this movie, though.
Yeah.
I think Spot is so fucking cool. He has loads of potential. He's not quite as good as Prowler or maybe even, like, Green Goblin, but I think in the next movie, I'm super excited for him.
Yeah, something tells me next movie there's gonna be bodies on bodies.
Oh my god, yeah. And anything, just that whole chase scene of Spider-Man running away from, like, fucking 5,000 Spider-Men. I love that scene.
My favorite one was, I think, Therapist Peter or something like that.
Let me guess. Uncle Ben died.
Yeah, that's easily my favorite bit from that movie.
That was so funny. Yeah. Oh, and Gwen. So she's great in the first film, but she has a lot more screen time in this one. The movie even opens up with her, and she's the second best character in this movie behind Miles for me.
Oh yeah, easily. Like the movie, it just has so much good going for it.
Yeah. Like I almost feel uncomfortable ranking it because I just like I need to wait for the next one.
Yeah, because it's like, if the next one is peak, it's easily the best trilogy that Spider-Man's had.
No, I think it's the best trilogy ever. If this next movie is as good as the first two,
Yeah,
including including Star Wars, including Lord of the Rings.
I mean, I wouldn't put it above Lord of the Rings, but like I think it would easily be one of the best trilogies ever written.
Would you say Spider-Verse is on par or a bit below the Lord of the Rings movies, like the first film?
I think it's on par.
That's fair. I think it's on par as well. Actually, yeah, you're right. If this next movie is as good as the first two, it probably is on par with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
But it will be better than Star Wars for me.
I'm in agreement with that.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Could you imagine if the third film's the best one? That would be crazy.
if it somehow plans to be the best one, beating out the OG Spider-Man 3, I will be very happy.
I would love that. I cannot wait for that movie.
Look, I may be going off to college soon, but oh fucking Christ, take my money.
Yeah, I'll see it twice.
I will be there day one to watch that in theaters.
In IMAX as well. Like I've only been to IMAX once because it's expensive, but I'm seeing that movie at IMAX day one.
Yeah, I think like the only movie I've seen in IMAX recently was Fall Guy.
What do you think of that movie?
I had a blast with that movie. It was honestly
Really? I don't know. Like it's fun, but I was laughing at it rather than with it. That's just me though.
I don't know. I found it entertaining at least.
Yeah. For me, my only IMAX experience was Interstellar.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
There was a 10-year anniversary for it a couple months ago. I was like, holy shit! I'm looking forward to this. It was incredible. It's my favorite ever experience in a theater.
Oh God, I really want to see Interstellar on a big screen. I think that would be so good.
After watching it on theater, it came into my top 10 favorite movies.
Yeah, I mean, I already love Interstellar, but I think that in
Interstellar's
theater
amazing.
would be awesome.
Yeah, and the sound effects and the music.
But yeah, final rankings.